June 4th, 1942, 10:25 a.m. 30 degrees north, 179 degrees west. Flight Petty Officer First Class Hiroshi Tanaka leveled his Aichi D3A Val dive bomber at 4,000 meters, some 80 kilometers northwest of Midway Atoll. The target, USS Yorktown. Tanaka's squadron was part of the larger Japanese plan to cripple the American carrier force, a crucial element in the Pacific campaign. The tension in the cockpit was palpable. Tanaka knew the risks. Allied anti-aircraft fire was intense, and American fighters roamed the skies. As the dive bomber entered its steep plunge, the kinetic energy, gravity, and precision calculations converged. Tanaka released his bomb with exact timing, aiming for the flight deck. Seconds later, the bomb struck. A massive explosion erupted on Yorktown, sending debris into the sky and igniting a fire that would burn for hours. Crewmen scrambled to contain the damage. Their actions, a mix of desperation and training-honed instinct. Across the Pacific, intelligence officers at Pearl Harbor were already piecing together intercepted Japanese communications. Signals intercepted from Japanese carriers indicated the locations and intentions of the strike force. This cryptographic advantage, the product of months of careful work by Station Hypo, allowed American commanders to anticipate attacks, adjust their formations, and exploit weaknesses. Meanwhile, USS Yorktown's crew fought valiantly. Damage control. Parties sealed compartments, pumped water from flooded sections, and directed firefighting teams. Lieutenant Commander John Waldron and Rear Admiral Frank Fletcher coordinated efforts to stabilize the carrier. Every decision mattered. One misstep and Yorktown could have gone down instantly. The Japanese pilots pressed their attacks, unaware of how quickly American intelligence and rapid response could blunt their efforts. Tanaka made multiple passes, each dive more dangerous than the last. Anti-aircraft fire tore through the sky, some rounds passing perilously close to his wings. Yet, despite damage and casualties, the Japanese succeeded in inflicting critical harm to Yorktown's operational capacity. By late afternoon, the battle's chaos had subsided. Yorktown was damaged but not sunk. American repair teams worked frantically to patch hull breaches, restore power, and rearm a flight deck. Meanwhile, Yorktown's planes, limited but not destroyed, continued to contest Japanese advances. The clash had highlighted a key lesson. War in the Pacific was as much a battle of technology, training, and intelligence as it was of courage and firepower. At sea, the strategic consequences of the encounter were already rippling through Japanese command. Aircraft losses, damage reports, and intercepted messages indicated that American carriers remained a formidable threat. Japanese planners faced a stark reality. One miscalculated attack could cost them critical assets in the Pacific. This engagement was more than a battle. It was a demonstration of coordination under pressure, adaptability in combat, and the human factor in warfare. Men on both sides relied on instinct, training, and trust in their comrades. The battle showcased the thin line between victory and disaster, a line measured not just in bombs or bullets, but in decisions made in split seconds under extreme stress. The events of June 4th, 1942 would echo for years. The courage of pilots like Tanaka, the resilience of crews like Yorktown's, and the intelligence efforts of American codebreakers collectively shaped the course of the Pacific War. Each element, technology, tactics, and human resolve, interwove into a decisive narrative. It was a lesson in how modern warfare demanded more than firepower. It demanded precision, anticipation, and execution under pressure. By the third kill, the crew of USS England believed they could sink anything, any submarine, anywhere, at any time. Lieutenant John Williamson's tactical acumen, combined with the sonar crew's precision and the lethal efficiency of the Hedgehog, had created a force that seemed unstoppable. The Japanese noticed. On May 23, 1944, Captain Kato Ryunosuke, commander of Submarine Squadron 7, sent an urgent message to all submarines on Scouting Line NA. Enemy anti-submarine forces operating in your area. Multiple submarines lost. All boats execute relocation 30 miles west immediately. The message revealed the gravity of the situation. 3 submarines had been destroyed in rapid succession. The reconnaissance line was compromised. Kato was acting to preserve his remaining assets, moving them out of the Americans' lethal path. But American intelligence intercepted and decoded the message within hours. The new positions were plotted, and the hunt resumed. At 0120 on May 24th, USS George detected Row 116 on radar at 10,000 yards. The submarine was surfaced. The 3 destroyer escorts closed in. Row 116 dove, but this time, its commander, Lieutenant Okabe, was ready. 9 war patrols had taught him the dangers of American anti-submarine tactics. And he knew the Hedgehog's deadly potential. Tishi did not flee. He fought. Row 116 twisted, fishtailed, and transmitted counter-pings, creating a maze of fourth echoes on the sonar screen. Sonar operator John Prock strained to maintain contact, adjusting gain and pulse rates, filtering the deception. Every maneuver tested the crew's training. Williamson began the attack runs. 0205, first salvo. Row 116 dove and reversed course. 0210, second salvo. Depth changes disrupted the firing solution. 0214, third salvo. Williamson adjusted for evasive maneuvers and fired. Explosions ripped through the depths. Row 116 was severely damaged, slowly sinking with all 56 men aboard. Debris and oil slicks marked the grim aftermath. By May 26th, after days of continuous operations, the crew headed to Manus Island to refuel and rearm. Exhausted, low on ammunition, and running on minimal sleep, they were nonetheless tasked with one more intercept. At 2303, USS Raby detected a surfaced submarine, Row 108. The crew groaned, but orders remained orders. Row 108 submerged. USS George lost contact. But USS England, relentless, reacquired the target at 2315. Williamson took the con. One attack run remained, the last Hedgehogs before resupply. 12 projectiles, fired at 23:23 hours. Seconds of silence, then multiple detonations. Row 108's hull ruptured. All 53 men aboard were lost. 5 submarines destroyed in 8 days. USS England arrived at Manus on May 27. The crew finally rested. Hedgehog magazines refilled, depth charges restocked, and minor repairs completed. By May 30, they were ready for patrol again. But word of England's success had spread. A hunter-killer group, led by the escort carrier Hoget Bay, arrived with destroyers Hazelwood, Herman, Hell, and McCord. poised to hunt the remaining Japanese submarines. On May 31st, USS Hazelwood detected Row 105. Captain Kato Rinosuke, commander of Submarine Division 51, was aboard. Experienced and strategic, Kato had witnessed his squadrons decimated. For 24 hours, multiple American ships pursued Row 105. The submarine evaded every attack, using thermal layers, depth changes, and maneuvering tactics to frustrate the attackers. At dawn, USS England arrived. Lieutenant Williamson took the con. Row 105 was trapped between American ships, attempting to slip through gaps. Commander Haynes radioed a now famous message. "Oh hell, go ahead, England!" The Hedgehog salvo detonated at 0729. 6 to 10 hits, then a massive underwater explosion at 0741. Row 105 sank with all 55 men, including Captain Kato. 6 submarines in 12 days, an unprecedented achievement in naval history. The strategic impact was immense. Japanese submarine operations in the Central Pacific halted for 3 months. Reconnaissance effectiveness collapsed, and American fleet movements became far less constrained. This intelligence failure contributed directly to the Battle of the Philippine Sea, allowing American carriers to engage Japanese forces without early detection. The Great Marianas Turkey Shoot. USS England's success was the product of technology, training, and execution. The Hedgehog provided the lethal edge, but many ships possessed the same weapon. Only England trained with relentless discipline under Williamson's leadership. Sonar operators maintained contact through aggressive evasive tactics. Weapons crews reloaded with precision. Engineering adjustments enabled accurate firing. Every element worked seamlessly under pressure. The ship continued operations through the summer and fall of 1944. On May 9, 1945, off Okinawa, a kamikaze attack struck the superstructure, killing 37 crew members and wounding 25. Damage control and engineering skill kept the ship afloat. She survived emergency repairs, returned to the US, and was decommissioned on October 15, 1945, after earning 10 battle stars and the Presidential Unit Citation. The men of USS England never claimed heroism. They trained, executed, and relied on one another. Their 12 days of relentless patrols in May 1944 reshaped Pacific naval warfare, proving that in war, skill, preparation, and courage matter as much as technology, perhaps even more. The story of USS England is more than a tale of ships and submarines. It's a testament to preparation, courage, and teamwork under the most intense pressure. In just 12 days, a single destroyer escort reshaped the balance of naval warfare, proving that skill and discipline can achieve the extraordinary. Take a moment to reflect on the men behind the technology, the sonar operators, the gunners, the engineers, and the bridge crew. Every action mattered, every decision counted, and every life on board played a role in this historic achievement. Imagine the tension, the exhaustion, and the resolve it took to face the unknown beneath the waves. History often celebrates the battles, but it's the preparation, the human courage, and the unseen moments of precision and coordination that define true heroism. USS England's story reminds us that doing your job with excellence, when it matters most, is the very essence of heroism. If this story moved you, take a moment to honor these forgotten heroes, Like this video to help share their story. Subscribe to uncover more untold histories from World War II. And leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Every story matters, and every story deserves to be remembered.